Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Today I'm working on a Cyberpunk Rooftop scene in Blender. Nothing super polished, just casual blocking and lighting. Feel free to ask anything while I work and we'll just see where this goes. I've already done some rough blocking off stream, so we're not starting from zero. I have this rooftop right here and some assets like antennas, HVAC units, some rooms or sheds you might see on top of rooftops, power box, air conditioner units. These are all part of my Cyberpunk Rooftop pack, which you can see right here. So I'll include the link for this in the description. You can download this and use these to build your own Cyberpunk rooftop scenes. I'll also include the link in the description so that you guys can watch it right now. So you guys can follow this link in the chat and open the Cyberpunk Rooftop pack, download it for free. Coming back to our scene, just give me a second to figure out some technical issues. Let's have some chill music in the background because I usually like listening to synthwave while I work. Reduce the volume and get this off the screen. Alright. Usually start by designing the mood first. In this case, slightly dystopian, rainy, late night kind of vibe. And this scene is part of my upcoming cinematic series I'm planning to release soon on Blender. Release on YouTube, it's made in Blender, and might use some other software like DaVinci, Resolve and After Effects and stuff to polish it up. So the camera is set to 1920 by 8.6 pixels to give us the 235 cinematic aspect ratio. There's no materials on the scene right now except the materials already included in the Cyberpunk Rooftop pack. I'll include the link for the video explaining the entire Cyberpunk Rooftop pack and how to install it in your Blender scenes and drag and drop right from the asset browser. Let's start by making the material for this rooftop. Switch over to shading view. We don't need a completely detailed building right here because we'll just be seeing the top part of it and the roof. So let's start by going to edit mode and assigning the material for the walls and a separate one for the roofs and the parapet. Just hold on a minute. This seems to be an issue with my printer window. Alright, this is my first stream, so you might see some technical issues right here. I'm trying to figure them out. First thing first, I'll just restart my Blender. Oh, it's back right now. Okay, let's go with it. I'll select the going to face select mode by pressing 3 on the keyboard. Select the roofs, floor and the walls first. Alright, and now press add a new material, rename it to roof, floor. And go to materials tab right here and assign it. Press Ctrl I to select inverse, which will be the rest of the building. And add a new material, rename it to concrete. Now let's add a noise texture. Oh, first let's also assign this concrete material and exit edit mode by pressing tab. Connect the factor of the noise texture to the base color. You can see that we have a nice texture on the walls. Increase the detail. And let's add a color ramp so that we can see the noise texture better. And I'll be changing the colors of these sliders. Let's go for a brownish shade first. Reduce the saturation further. And if you increase or reduce or increase the value, you can see that it gets darker. So I'll keep it at 1 for now, and then choose the black slider and change it to a darker brown color. Reduce the saturation and also the value. And there may be too much of the noise texture coming through, so we'll leave it at this for now. We need a roughness map. Okay, let's go with the bump first. Another noise texture. Connect the factor to the bump height right here. Right. Plug the knob into the normal. Don't really see much. Let's also go into the material settings on the right and change it to bump and displacement if we choose to use a displacement texture data. And I generally am on cycles, GPU compute. Let's go for 64 samples for the viewport and now 256 samples for the render. Turn off your light ray under lights so that you get a faster viewport performance. Light paths is currently set to default. Let's go for fast global illumination. And let's just add in a night HDRI from Blender Kit. Search for night and free first. Okay, I have this night sky 2 already loaded in. So if we switch to render mode, you'll be able to see that better. Oh, I think I have to reload it once. Let's bring this in. 2048 should be fine. Okay, so we have the night scene here. Let's just isolate this building for now by pressing backslash on the keyboard, and we'll see if we can see the bump. So bump for concrete, we don't need it too bumpy, but let's add a color ramp to define it better. I'll also increase the scale to something like 15. Let's see where it goes. And press Ctrl Shift and click on the color ramp so that you can just preview this texture for now. Reduce the scale a bit. Increase the detail. Press Ctrl Shift back on the principal BSDF so that you can get back to the entire material. We do have a little bit of bump. Let's add the roughness now. In fact, I think we should switch this over, connect this to displacement mode instead. Shift A, displacement. Connect the color of this ramp to the height and plug this into the displacement of your material output. So we do have displacement. Start with 0.5. Too much. 0.05. Too less. 0.08. Yeah. To have some bump detail on it. Don't need too much. In fact, let's just go into edit mode and add a few cuts. Should we subdivide instead? Yeah, let's subdivide it so we get better displacement on the material. If we increase this, yeah, you can see we're getting some nice displacement. It wasn't very visible because of low polygons, but now we can see it. Let's go to edge select mode, select the corners. And add a little bevel so that these don't get affected by the displacement texture. Scroll to increase the counts in the bevel segments. Yeah. And now we do have some nice displacement on it. And let's plug in this. Let's get a normal going. I'll duplicate this noise texture and color ramp. Plug the color into the strength of the height of the bump node. Just isolate this for a minute. Increase the scale to a very high value. Let's go with 2000 first because this gives us this nice micro bump detail. And can we see it here? Yeah, we do see it. Let's increase the strength for a bit. Let's try 10. Yeah, we do see it now. Okay, we'll come back to this later. And I feel the scene is overall too bright for the look I'm going for, but we'll get back to it. Also, a useful tip when you're modeling in Blender. Okay, let's also turn on viewport design. And we'll come down to output properties and select render region, because otherwise Blender will be rendered the whole scene which is CPU and GPU intensive. So we'll choose render region just to focus on the camera area. I also have my viewport guide on, which you can select the camera, go to the camera settings here, optional properties, and viewport display composition guides. I have the third one on. We'll turn it on later. Let's go with this for now. And now let's make the wet flow material. I've also made a detailed video about making a wet floor, which you can see here. If I go to my YouTube channel, it's this one right here, making a wet ground material. I'll link this in the comments as well. Yeah, sorry, you are not able to see this. Is it this video? Wet ground. So I'll add this in my comments. Okay, back to Blender. Let's go with it. Let me see if I have the material loaded in here, so we don't have to make it again. Otherwise, I don't mind showing you guys once again. That's totally cool as well. Yeah, I think I do not have it included in my materials yet in the asset browser, so it's fine. We'll just do it again. Select the roof floor and let's first change the base color to a dark color. Very dark is grey. And I'll just go to the concrete material and copy this bump because we'll need a similar bump for this. Copy this and this. Select, Shift select, Control C for the roof floor. Paste here. Oh, I didn't select. Let's go back to concrete. C. Control C. Got it right here. Let me also just shift back to the material view so that we save a little bit of the GPU resources for a while. Let's take a quick break. I hope you guys can hear me fine. If the music is too loud, just let me know. I'll probably reduce the volume a little bit more. I like listening to synthwave when I'm working because it's a very easy listening experience and it calms me down while working. So plugging in the bump now. So let's go to the material properties and set it to displacement and bump. Okay, we do have the bump here. Reduce it to 5. We don't need such a strong bump here with this. Still too much. Maybe 2, 1. So we'll go for 2. And the bump is little too. I think it's fine. Alright. Now I want some wet puddles on this. Right. So let's play with the roughness. Press F to frame this. Select a bunch of nodes and press F to frame, and then when you select the frame you can just move it directly with G or with your mouse as well. Let me add a noise texture. Plug it into the roughness. So you see we have some texture breakup here right now. Let's add a ramp. And if I increase the move the black slider, you can see that we get some puddles on the surface. Okay. Let's also increase the scale because we don't need such bigger puddles. Something around 15. Yeah, that's cool. And we move the black side of the wall so we get some bigger patches. I think the bump is a little too strong at the scale as well. We'll go for 8 now. It's for half of it. And reduce the bump strength to 5. Because that was getting too lumpy. Let's move the white slider as well to get some dry patches. I don't want it to be completely wet. If I switch to the rendered view, this is what we have so far. We have some nice reflections of the objects. So this telephone tower thing is something I modeled recently. I haven't added materials to it. I'll include it in a download on my Gumroad soon after this video drops. It's just a very basic. I think this is a cube with the tapering top, scale down, and wireframe modifier on top of it. And I just model these, small antenna things. So you can see this is a very common telephone pole we see around. Don't need to do much for this. We can even go to Blender Kit and just add some metal materials on it. If I can find some rusted metal, that would be good. Let's try this rust iron old metal. Alright. I'll just add my base concrete material for this. I think we'll have, oh no, it's already assigned, so that's cool. It looks fine here. I'll probably reduce the displacement later. Press backslash to isolate all of this. Let's see. These need to have some different materials for the frames and these antennas. So let's go to edit mode and select them. I'll also take just a quick 1 minute break to have some water. Alright. Go to edit mode. Select Shift G. So this is something I learned from Maxi. You guys know Maxi. If you don't know, I'll tell you more about him in a bit. Legendary Blender artist, amazing cyberpunk scenes, really big fan of his work. Just select some of the planes here. If I press Ctrl L, no, select this one. Just selecting some planes which are facing upwards. Then press Shift G. Select coplanar. Yeah, it selects all of the surfaces facing this way. So also try Shift G. Normal. Yeah, we got all of these selected. I think normal would be better. Just select one of the faces on each of these. And when I drop this asset, it will be textured. Sorry for taking time on the stream to texture it. But you'll get the textured asset for this, or you can just, I'll assign the materials. If you want to change them later, you can do that as well. Press Shift G and normal. It selects these, which might not be good. Okay, let's just manually deselect some of these. Press Control and then box select to deselect the selections. If you want to select them deselect them one by one, press Shift and press on the selection to cancel it. just go quick and dirty with this and select all the similar faces. I should have assigned this for the stream, I guess. Right? It's my first stream, mistakes happen. I'll probably get better over time. I have all the frames selected now. Also, I'll select these cylinders. Should have probably done that once, but it's fine. Let's just skip this, I'm sorry. Let's just skip this altogether and assign the material for these frames first. Let's add rusted metal. Yeah, assign them here. Right. This does not look right. Let's see what's happening here. Oh yeah, these are different objects, so I'll just assign crap. Let's see what's happening here. Link materials, Control L to link materials. Alright, this is just messed up. Just give me a minute to fix this. This would be way easier. Okay. Let's go back to this. Add. Okay, let's make this antenna for now. Base color, white base color, metallic. Slight roughness. We'll add a roughness map to it later. These shift G to select swing normal. Oh, that won't work. Shift G to select coplanar. Doesn't work. Let's go for manual quick and dirty. Let's assign the antenna material to this. Select Control I. New material, select the rusted metal and assign them. We're getting somewhere now. Something wrong over here. Select these. You can select the materials faces assigned to some materials again, doesn't matter. Just reassign them to the antenna. Yeah, fine. Looks good for now. Oh, same thing here. I mean, it's not going to matter in the distance, but since I'm going to drop this asset, it should probably be fixed. Crap. Alright. Crap happens. Okay, assign this to antenna. Select these, Control I. Assign all of this to the rusted metal. This as well. Alright folks, last one. Sorry, I'm going to get back to it soon. Let's just do this like this. So select maximum number of faces at once. That was quicker. Rusted metal. Assign Control I. Assign antenna. Alright, we're done with this part for now. At least backslash to bring everything else into view. The wires have some material. The pipes can get another metal that I have somewhere in this probably. Dark metal from render kit, let's go with that. This can get another rusted metal. I'll detail this later, but just something for now. We'll have some decals and maybe some emissive lights or LEDs on this. Project. And okay, we'll work on this later. This can have any other. Okay, let's go with this. Yeah, looks good for now. We'll come back to the camera view. So we're getting somewhere with this. I'll reduce the scale because it looks too repetitive. Let's see how it looks in rendered view. Focal is 28. Go for maybe 24. shift and the tilde key, fly around E to move up, and the camera a little bit here, slightly up. Want to have some of the skyline visible as well. If you don't want to go too wide angle with this, and this might work. And I have these assets from the Cyberpunk asset pack I told you about. You can just select the asset browser here and go to rooftop assets. If you have more assets, it will be under rooftop assets, and let's populate this rooftop a little bit more. Let's bring in this water tank and place it here. Let's also bring some satellite dishes in. Let's do that. RZ, rotate it wherever you want. Let's put some satellite dishes here as well. I'll go back to the shader editor and maybe increase the scale of the puddles a little bit more. That's too much actually. Let's go increasing from 5. I think we have too many wet patches. Yeah, let's dial it in slowly and increase the scale now. That's good for now. Let's start adding some buildings. For the buildings, we go into the Max Hayard's homepage. Amazing stuff all around. He has his Blender Fantasy environment scores, classic Blender 3D environment scores. We select free assets, and this is what we get. A quick shout out to Max Hay. He's done some amazing work. Let me just show you his channel if you have not seen it already. So you can see he's made these amazing scenes, this beautiful animation. Shout out to Max Hay. No copyright infringement intended. Just showing off your art, man. Really big fan. Look at this scene. Yeah, we're gonna try making something like this. We may not be able to finish the entire scene today, but let's see how far we get. Let's take a quick break for a minute. Sorry, I'm not used to talking for so long. Let me just come back in a few minutes, 1 minute, few seconds. Okay guys, so I'm back. You can go to Maxi's website and download this free buildings pack, and obviously this free Cyberpunk pack as well, which has a lot of things. Let me just go down and get access. I already have access. I'll just type in my email again. Okay, I'll just turn off the. Okay, let me download this. I already have this buildings pack. This has been released recently, so let me download this free Cyberpunk pack as well. Download. While it's downloading, I'll just bring in some buildings, and I use some basic rectangular cuboid blocks to block out my scene. It's not perfect as you can see. Okay, let's move this around. Don't want this. Okay, just to show the position where I'll be putting my final buildings in. Alright, so let me append Maxi's buildings. File, append, and I'll just turn off my overlay for a minute. Sorry, I was in the browser mode. I'm just gonna turn off my stream for a minute. I want to show you my weird file system. Let me just find my files. Alright, let's come back. So here I have Max Hay free buildings pack, and select the blend file to objects and select all of these buildings and wait for them to come back in your scene. Into your scene, GUI to move them out of the space. Let's scale them 0.5. Let's do less. S 0.75 so they're matching more with the size of my buildings. These are amazing buildings. I'll just show you close-ups with them in render mode. You can see his videos to know more about how he makes these buildings. But okay, let me just turn off the noise. Okay, it's fine. It's a little slow. I'm running my RTX 2060 Super 8GB, which is almost 6 years old at this point, so I'm definitely going to need an upgrade soon. You can see that these buildings have a lot of detail. They have these rooftop antennas, grime, and all that good stuff going on. Okay, get out of render mode now. Select the buildings one by one and start replacing them in my scene. First, let's choose one building to be the main focal point around the left 2/3. Select your camera, go to report display, and I'll enable the thirds display. So yeah, this is roughly around the left thirds of the screen. I'll replace this over there. Delete the blocking cube and bring this down a little bit. I like rooftops because they let you suggest a city without fully building one. At this stage, I'm not thinking about detail, just big shapes and composition. Let's bring in some more of his buildings. Continue replacing these buildings. Okay, let's bring, this is a small sized building, so let's bring this one over here. Yeah, let this one be off frame just to suggest a sense of scale. Just quick look at the rendered view to see where we're getting so far. I think we're getting a little bit too noisy with the composition. I'll move the camera to focus a bit more on the rooftop instead of everything around it. Don't want too much noise going on. Camera angle matters a lot. If you're looking upwards, it gives a sense of scale that the city is huge. But we want a more intimate rooftop scene for the starting scene of my short film, The Awakening, which is part of my planned cinematic series called Neon Dreams. I have an idea for a futuristic cyberpunk Indian world where we face modern villains and we don't have our traditional heroes like born with powers or something like that, but people who are in the right position to help or stand up to evil. They have to step in or it doesn't, they can't rest in their conscience. You can also go up here in your shading properties and turn on cavity because it makes the scene look a whole lot better. So maybe choose excuse me, on the different matte caps to whichever helps you visualize the scene better. I think I'll stick with this for a while. I want this city scene or this rooftop cyberpunk scene to feel not just to feel vast but also kind of enclosed and suffocating. So that's why I'm having things framed on the sides, extreme left and extreme right, so that we get a boxed in kind of feel. Can you shift and right click to bring the 3D cursor, and that helps you place when you're in the top view. We don't need everything to be perfect, just the buildings to fill the scene. I mean, they don't have to be perfectly on the ground on the same plane because we're not going to the street view right now. Sorry guys, I just checked the chat. I'll turn down my music. It's just for me. Can you hear me now? Or should I increase my volume? I'll just increase my volume a bit at Bing. Let me reply to you. Sorry I missed your chat. Thank you for joining the stream. I'll increase my volume. Is this fine? I guess. I'm sorry if it was too low. I hope it's better now. I'm sorry guys if you were not able to hear me enough. I've just increased my volume and I hope you can hear me now. And to answer you, at Bing show logins, Bing Bing's show logins. I don't know. No, I have not used any geometry nodes because I'm not very good at it. These cubes are just placed by hand, and I have my Cyberpunk Rooftop asset, which is included in the links above here. You can see the Gumroad link, and also two videos that expand on the topics I'm talking about here. Also, my supposed focused building, the top two-thirds has moved, so I'll just move this back into the left two-thirds position. I hope you guys are hearing me properly now. This is my first stream, so yeah, there will be issues and it will be fixed definitely from the next stream. Let's also just check out the Cyberpunk pack I downloaded by Max Hay. Uh, this one, Cyberpunk blend file, and see what's in it. Actually, I'll just open it first and see what's inside. Also, bring it into my assets folder. We need to create some depth in the scene, so just move the buildings around so that they're not so close together, but also keep the visible skyline full-ish. Move this one. Okay, we need one building over here. Let's try bringing this one here. So I'm trying to create some kind of leading lines like this, which brings our focus to here. Just work around a little bit with the position of the buildings. I think the blocking looks good right now. There's no haze, no atmosphere, no lights, so it's a little dead looking, but we'll fix that in a while. I think there's a sun lamp over here which is making the lighting very flat. Or maybe actually it adds some ambient film. We'll make it a little bit darker on the blue side. And let me tweak the material and shading. Also, let's add some neon into the scene. It's not cyberpunk if it doesn't have any neon in it. Let's work on that. I have some 2-3 neon signs. In the add section of my, okay, we have 4, so let's start adding them somewhere. Let me add the hotel neon ad right here. if you want to edit these materials, the add, press F3 and you have to make it local. This is a new thing that has popped up in Blender 5.0. So press F3, search make local, and object relations, selected objects, data and materials. Okay, I guess the make local doesn't work right now. Let me just look up how we can edit the materials to increase the brightness. Fun fact, this is just a picture from one of my planned short films. Was supposed to be the poster. It's called Oxygen. Let me see how to edit it. Okay, let's try make local all. Oop, that didn't work as well. Okay, we'll fix this in a moment. Let's keep populating the scene with some more lights. In my Cyberpunk assets pack, I have some lights. There's some basic neon strips which can be used to add light into the scene. We have a little bit of light coming into our scene, but we still can't see it a lot, so I think I should add a volume here. Add a cube. Scale it about 50. Let's go out and see if it's covering the scene. Let's go a little bigger. We don't need it very far off in the distance. change to the shader editor here. New material, name it volume. Remove the principal BSDF, add a scatter. Sorry, volume scatter. Again, to the volume, we can't see anything, to reduce the density is something like 0.01. Still too high, 0.005. High. Let's increase the anisotropy so the light spills more towards the camera. And we have some nice depth here though. Anisotropy, if we reduce it, see, it spills the light backwards, so we need more. And I think a little lesser density, 25, 1.0025 for now. And let's add some more lights into the scene. And you know why the scene looks dead? There are no lights anywhere inside the buildings. Let's see if we can fix that right now. I'll hide the volume for now. Okay, so currently in this pack there are no lights included. Let's append the neon signs from the Cyberpunk scene that we downloaded. Okay, this is kind of all over the place. Crap. Okay. Let's look at it. Okay. Let me just find some city lights images. City building lights, maybe. This is a facade. The previous one was better. Let's just select the largest image we can find for now. Pixels is a great site for finding images. Let me just check my assets for a second. I think I have some already. I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties you're facing right now. It's my first stream and I'm kind of, all over the place. But we'll figure it out, we'll fix it. Okay. Let me just show you my window for a bit. Just hold on for a bit, guys. I have a small thing to attend to for a couple of minutes. Okay, now we have the image in the scene, but it didn't come in as a plane, just as a reference. Okay, let's add a mesh plane. And make a new material for it. I just drag and drop the facade image right now. Connect it to the color, base color and emission. Set the emission strength to maybe 2 and unisolate this. Let's bring this somewhere over here, right? So let's put the cursor over here so that we can move it easily. And select this building. Okay, before we do that, we'll just rename this to facade 1. and select this building. Go to the window material and reduce the alpha. See if you can see the lights first. And press the facade and press Ctrl T to add a mapping node, and let's increase the mapping a little bit, not too much. Alright, we have some lights here. Is this coming outside? It isn't, so we'll just duplicate this. R, Y. Okay, we'll bring this here first. $90. Scale it down slightly. Okay, so we have our first building lit. Let's bring the volume back in to see how it's looking now. Okay, yeah, so this is we'll need to add more lights to the scene like this. So what I did was selected the max A buildings, reduce the alpha, okay, and put a plane with a facade texture just inside the window so that it reveals the light inside. Honestly guys, this stream is a mess because I'm not able to figure out a lot of things. Not used to making things on the go. So let's just treat this as a practice stream. And definitely try to make the next streams better. So we have one building lit, we're gonna have to light the other buildings in a similar way to separate the different layers of buildings. Let's try something. Add a cube. Sorry, add a cube, and somewhere about here, shift A, mesh cube. Make a new material for it, and let's name it fog emission. I'm going to try a technique I've seen in some other videos and also Max Hayes videos. So let's plug in an emission texture to the volume of this material. Okay, that gives us something like this. Reduce the strength something like 0.2 and change the color to something you would see in a city. Pale yellowish. Reduce the saturation and bring in the volume just for a bit to see how it's looking. Yeah, we have that nice city glow. I think we could go a little bit more orangish. Too much brightness though. I'll move it a little bit down. We add a subdivision modifier. Just shape it a little differently. And we'll duplicate this, rotate it a little bit on different axis, GY, with somewhere else. And duplicate this material, change it to a different cyan, bluish, something like that. Yeah, the fog is definitely too strong. We'll reduce the density to 0.001. And let's just do a test render while I take a moment to breathe and recalibrate our next steps. Hey guys, sorry I'm not able to check the chat. I need to definitely set up my stream better. I only have one monitor. If you have any questions, let's just hang out and talk for a bit. I think the left side of the frame is looking a little bit too empty, so we'll be moving some things over there. And I'm definitely going to refine this scene off stream because these window emissions are definitely not good. I'm probably going to select the materials In fact, let's try it right now for another building. Let's try it with this building. Tab. Select the window faces, one on each side. Press Shift G and select coplanar. So you don't have to select all the windows separately. Do the same for the bottom part. I'm leaving the small windows right now. Let's work with the windows that are even sized, or closer to size, and we'll make another facade material for this. What we'll do is we'll just duplicate this, Shift D, separated, tab mode, so tab out of edit mode, and select Alt S to slightly scale them inwards. Now I'll remove the material from this and I'll name this Facade 2. Add a new material. Let's name this Facade as well. Bring in one of my other facade images. You can find them online: office facade, building night facade, building lights facade, FACADE. We need to reduce the alpha on these windows. Okay, it's already less. Oh yeah, I don't have any emission on this. I'll remove all the other materials except the facade. And plug this into the emission color. Let's change the strength to 2. Tab A U Q project. Okay, we have something right here. This is a better way instead of trying to mess around with the separate planes. I'll reduce the scale. And change the location a little bit. I think we can go for reducing the scale actually means increasing the value of the scale over here in your mapping node. We'll probably go to UV editing and place them separately. Move around the UVs that you can find the optimal position where the lights look natural. I think we need to reduce the scale a little bit more. I'll open another window over here, the shader editor. Yeah, it's looking decent. Let's do this for this building over here. Select one of the faces on each side, window faces, and shift G, coplanar. Yeah, that's perfect. Shift D to duplicate, right click, separate selection, tab out of edit mode, select the windows inside, A, Alt S, and slightly reduce the scale. Okay, I'll go back to shading mode. And isolate the window and the buildings we just selected by pressing backslash. Remove all the materials on the window mesh that we made, duplicate it, make a new material. Oh no, let's not make a new material. Select facade 2, duplicate, make a new material for this, then we'll change the facade. Let's remove this mapping node first. And we'll select the Windows tab A, select all, and cube project U and press cube projection. Yeah, so we need to add some facade lights to many of the buildings over here and some neon signs. Let's add one more sign, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I may have another add left in my assets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have added this. I don't think we have added this. Yeah, we haven't. And let's just put this 90 degrees. Oh, sorry. R Z 90 minus 90, I guess. And I'll bring this off screen. Make it large to cast some reflections on our rooftop. And I'll just hit render really quickly, and I'll just be back in a minute after a quick bathroom break. Alright, I'm back. I'll just switch into my render if I can. Nope. Just a second. Yeah. I definitely have to fix my stream situation. Not able to see your comments properly. Set up the comments on my screen so that I could figure out the technical issues before. And there were mistakes as well. My assets were unprepared. So that's a thing to learn for my next streams. First streams are always tricky. Let's just talk for a bit, guys, if you're available. I think we have something decent over here. The lights aren't good. I'll remove the black cyan light, and let's see. I'll reduce this strength, emission strength, to 0.1, and the other cyan, think that should be like different color, 0.1. Let's go for a yellowish color, and I'll hit render once again. Just back in a moment. Alright guys, so I think I need to stop the stream right here. Running into a few technical issues that I want to fix properly instead of fighting them live. Assets are unprepared, and the lighting isn't good. I have to figure out some better building models or lighting inside the buildings for the facade. This was my first stream, so thanks a lot to everyone who dropped by and hung out. I couldn't check all your comments, so I need to figure out the comments overlay. I'll sort these issues out and do a much cleaner stream very soon. Next week, Saturday again. Thanks for your patience, and I'll see you guys in the next one.